Welcome to everything about decentralized AI, crypto, and all the news going on today. Let me just put that over here. All right. And guys, news. First of all, yes, we have a StreamYard logo now up there. They kind of upped the prices, and I was like, why am I don't need that. I don't need StreamYard Pro. So I was like, F them, I'll just go StreamYard normal because just not to have a logo there, really not worth it to pay for anything. Maybe at one point, if I have like thousands of subscribers and hundreds of people watching, we'll see about that. But until then, we'll have now a StreamYard logo up there. And I'm wondering, because for me, it's actually German. Is the logo for you also in German? It says unterstützt von StreamYard, which is like supported by StreamYard. So I'm not sure if it says for you supported by or if it for you also says in German unterstützt, which would be kind of funny. Anyway, so we just have to deal with that. Other news, I'm a little bit sick. Maybe you hear it in my voice, recovering from a cold. It's almost gone now. But because I basically had no voice, I could not make the video for you that I wanted to post this week. So, well, there was no video this week, only this stream. And then the last news, I got Lego from YouTube. YouTube sent me Lego. And yes, now I have the YouTube play button in Lego. Isn't that great? I would love to place it behind me, but this is not a straight wall. This is, what you say, steep. So I cannot put anything there, unfortunately, maybe at one point. All right, now let's get into the interesting stuff. All news and stories, even though I have to say this week was the slowest week when it comes to decentralized AI that I have ever seen. Sorry, but you'll have to deal with that for this stream. But there are a few interesting other news, which we'll get into in a moment. First of all, let's get back to this, which we talked about last week. You know, the whole ICP, ASI fight with this one guy from ICP calling out ASI Alliance, talking crap. And then Ben Gertz and Humancheek basically just said, hey, let's hop on a space. And he never answered. He never replied. Just not a good look for the ICP community. And it continues just like that. As you can see here, and I highly recommend you follow here ASI community on X. It's a pretty good page. Don't want to reopen the Pandora's box, but what happened to Ben Gertl's space request to ICP's Dominic? The FET and ASI Alliance community, as well as some of voices in ICP, would surely be happy to explore potential opportunities for decentralized AI. And this would be such an amazing space, having them talk together, and not just to explore opportunities, but just, let's look at what happened. This guy from ICP basically talks smack about Ben Gertl and the ASI, whole ASI Alliance, right? And then they just say, hey, how about you don't talk about us, but with us? And we discuss that in a space and talk further. And he never replied. That's just not a good look. You don't do that BS. That's, I don't know. And this is why I don't like the ASI community. And I see where it comes from. If the leaders of ASI act like that, no wonder that all people that I see from the ICP community are, well, so toxic. And you see it in the comments. Here, this one is good. Dom shouldn't waste his time on you guys. You are ignoring the request from a community member because you are afraid of what will come out of it. You've shown your true self the last couple of days. So first of all, this guy is just talking to ASI communities. These are not official ASI people, right? This is just an ASI community page. So makes no sense and wastes his time and space when talking to other leaders from another project. It's a very, very arrogant statement, but it goes on like that. Here, Dom is busy and already said what he had to say. Okay, so what he had to say was talking smack about ASI and then not clarifying anything or going into any points that Ben made. All right, this is also what he had to say. This would be the last thing on his list, I can imagine. So having discussions with other leaders in the space so that the communities of both of both parties can learn more, and you can get further, and you can clarify what you meant, and your thoughts is a waste of time. All right. And yeah, the comments just go on like this, and I really don't want to smack down on the ICP community, but when I see what they are talking about, and when I see what their leaders are saying, and when I then see the reactions of all the people in the ICP community, I can just say, man, I love the tech, really, but I freaking hate the community, and they are toxic, and I don't want to have anything to do with them. So I have to say, I hate ICP. They just show it over and over and over again. And when you see how Dominic is acting, whoever that may be in the ICP team, you just show that this toxicity drips down from the top to the bottom. So no wonder that the whole community is the way it is. So anyway, enough shit talk about ICP, not about ICP, but about the ICP community. Let's jump into other stuff. Good thing there are not a lot of stories today, because I can already notice how my voice starts to leave. So talking about this here, exploring potential viable paths to true AGI. So this was interesting. I'm not so convinced by the whole thing here, but let's get into it. So the first thing is the cognition level approach, hybrid neurosymbolic systems. And this is, of course, OpenCog Hyperon. The first paths that Dr. Goertzel highlights are, and one that he personally most excited about, is the cognition level approach. This method involves combining various AI techniques, including neural networks, symbolic reasoning, probabilistic programming, and evolutionary learning into a single unified framework. It's a hybrid neurosymbolic framework that seeks to model human cognition through the integration of multiple AI paradigms. And this is basically OpenCog Hyperon. We talk about it on this channel a lot, so I don't have to go into it. If you want to go deeper into it, obviously you can watch the various videos I have done about Hyperon. Shouldn't be hard to find them on the channel. In fact, I probably should make a dedicated Hyperon playlist, and I will do so. Yes. Actually, let me make a quick note of that. Hyperon playlist. Hyperon playlist. All right. Good. Next approach, the brain level approach, large-scale nonlinear dynamical brain simulation. Okay, what the heck is this? If the cognition level approach focuses on mimicking human thinking processes through a combination of AI paradigms, the brain level approach takes a more direct road, simulating the brain itself. Okay, I mean, obviously I've read through all this, but here the first thought obviously is, man, this sounds kind of impossible, or at least so freaking complex that it seems almost impossible, simulating a human brain. I mean, you cannot really imagine how this could be done ever. I mean, maybe at one point, but it definitely seems, whoa, okay. Dr. Goertzel acknowledges the complexity, oh yes, of this endeavor. I mean, there are, maybe it's possible if we have quantum computing, because there are some papers that suggest that the brain works kind of like a quantum computer. But yeah, if you're interested in this stuff, I'm gladly work through these papers and explain them, but then leave a few comments down below and say, yes, tell me more about how the brain works. But yeah, let's continue here. But believes that creating a nonlinear dynamical model of the brain could offer another path to AGI. Well, yeah, but how freaking hard is it to do that? I mean, it doesn't seem very possible in the next, I don't know, science moves fast, but yeah, I don't even want to make an estimation there. Drawing inspiration from computational neuroscience, Goertzel advocates for brain simulation methods based on chaos theory and nonlinear dynamics, which would emulate the complex interactions of neurons at a much more granular level. Okay, well, I don't understand a lot of what they are talking about here. But it's okay. You can research Eugene Isikovich. Isikovich? Right? So I just want to give you this name so that you can do your own research if you're interested. The biggest hurdle to this approach is not the lack of ideas, but the immense computational power required. Yes, so a human brain is no joke, okay? If you think a computer is fast, a human brain is... You cannot simulate that stuff with all the computer power in the world, basically. Because the human brain is way too complex for that. For everybody joining, yes, we have a StreamYard logo now. Deal with it. StreamYard. Okay, anyway. No, obviously. I dislike it as well, but it's there now, so whatever. Good. Now let's get into the third approach, the chemistry level approach, artificial chemistry and self-organizing systems. So, okay, I thought this sounds interesting. Let's get into this. Why? Because I am a chemist. Now, this is actually my field of study, okay? This is where I have my little bit of scientific education that I have. Well, I'm not a chemist, I'm a chemical engineer. I'm a chemical and environmental engineer, to be precise. Bachelor's degree, okay? Let's not get crazy here. I have a bachelor's degree in chemical and environmental engineering. So let's get into that, because this is very interesting, at least for me. Yeah, well, at least this headline was very interesting for me until I started reading. And when I started reading, it was just, yeah, let's get into that. Simulating complex self-organizing systems at the chemical level with the goal of coaxing emergent brain-like structures to form. Essentially, instead of trying to emulate the brain or cognition directly, we would create artificial chemical systems that mimic the underlying processes of life and intelligence. What? I mean, I understand what they are saying there, but what? Where's my brain? Obviously, my brain is here, but I need my little brain. This one here. So you want to, basically what they're saying is they want to put stuff together, different chemicals, and then they hope that they can synthesize brain-like structure. Are they freaking insane? I mean, it's Ben Goertzel who's saying that, and I mean, it's an idea. Obviously, we always want ideas. Ideas are great, so we can think about different kinds of stuff, but this just seems so out there that it seems even a little bit out there for Ben Goertzel. I mean, first of all, start to try to simulate life, okay? If we can do that, I would be freaking mind blown. If we could create an environment, chemical, biological environment where life just emerges, you know, life in the sense that certain bacteria, you know, one cellular life emerges somehow. If we could do that, I would be freaking mind blown. And now Ben Goertzel talks about simulating a brain-like structure out of nothing, basically, chemicals that you put together. I mean, theoretically, sure, many things are theoretically possible, but this just seems, again, way, way out there, even for Ben Goertzel. So, yeah, this is not a viable path, if you ask me. But what do I know? You know, I just have a bachelor's degree. And I'm just a biology nerd is maybe also one of my references, but yeah. The idea is that by running large-scale simulations of artificial chemistry, we might be able to witness the spontaneous emergence of cognitive structures akin to those found in biological organisms. We might be able to witness the spontaneous emergence of cognitive structures. Okay. How the H would that work if you don't have the biological structure first, the biological organism first? How would then out of there emerge just a brain-like structure, right? This is what they're talking about, just about a brain-like structure. Basically, they want to have a brain in a jar without a body around it or a being around it. Yeah, good. I mean, he mentioned it here. It's an interesting thought experiment, but the only really viable approach is number one here, which is Hyperon. If we think about two, sure, you could think about simulating a brain with a computer, but man, we would need quantum computers for that for sure. You need immense computing power. It's highly complex. We don't really understand how the brain works. Obviously, we understand a lot, but probably the more you learn about it, the less you understand. So yeah, seems not very feasible. And this just seems outright almost impossible. Okay, so yeah, we really just have this one here, which is Hyperon, which gladly is what the ASI Alliance is working on, and none of these other, well, I don't want to say nonsense, but man, let's stick with Hyperon here, okay? Good. Anyway, still thought it's interesting. It's always good to think about this kind of stuff and other approaches and methods and what could work, what couldn't work, because this is how you grow and develop further. And then let's go through this here. So we already talked about this stuff in the last stream a little bit here, GPT-01, a big step, but not exactly toward AGI. Again, we talked about this last streams, but there are a few more things that I want to show here, and it's just obviously GPT-01 is an amazing model. It is a model that can reason much better, but it still is not that different from the other versions beforehand, because in essence, the only thing that's new is that it now uses chain of thought to think about its own thoughts, right? Which we talked about last week. Let's get into this here again and a few more things. So this is essentially exactly what we talked about and what I read last week. For the camp that continues to claim that throwing massive amounts of compute at LLMs isn't the reasonable path to AGI, I don't know if that's accurate anymore. I think we've reached the point where these models are more capable than humans, even PhDs at most tasks, and quickly approaching the median human in all tasks, right? This is a statement from a person who probably don't understand what AGI means and says, hey, this is for sure AGI because it is so intelligent, right? And here, one thing, and this is just a post that I made today on X, and this is so important, and we need to understand that having a lot of knowledge is not akin to being intelligent, okay? We could say, yes, GPT, what's going on here? Anyway, we could say, yes, GPT-01 has a lot of knowledge, right? A lot of knowledge from all kinds of different domains, more knowledge than any single human could ever possess, okay? But it doesn't have a lot of intelligence, right? Very, very different and important distinction between knowledge and intelligence that we need to make here. Good, but let's get into what Ben Gottfried says, and this is exactly what I read through last week, and then we'll get into a bit more things. However, these do not appear to me to represent a big step forward to AGI, toward AGI. Right now, he says GPT-01 does not appear to me to represent a big step forward toward AGI. So in some ways, systems like this could perhaps be useful supporting components of AGI systems. I've used 01 extensively. It's a step forward, but there are obvious limitations, and we talked about this last week. So it's good at programming with programming languages that it has examples for, but it's very bad at, for example, using Meta, because there are not examples for Meta anywhere. So teaching it Meta doesn't really work because it's not in its database. Doesn't seem very intelligent, does it? Doesn't seem like AGI, does it? It's good at dealing with math theorems and proofs that are already in existence, right, that it has access to, but it's very, very poor at logic problems and mathematical problems that are not very represented in the literature, or very small represented in the literature. It doesn't represent a fundamental leap beyond prior LLMs in the sense that it is clearly still recombining its training data on a fairly surface level, right? It's not really. The only thing that's better is that it can reason now, and because it reasons and thinks about what it's doing, it's better at coding and better at math, because it checks what it does a bit more often. The human mind has some foundational understanding of itself and its world, and the others it interacts with. It has multiple goals in this world on different timescales, and it forms abstractions of the data it perceives and creates based on which abstractions seem likely to be useful for these goals, along with various aesthetic criteria. Generating using this sort of abstraction is a quite different beast than generating according to the surface level model that modern LLMs and other generative models create. Right? It's completely different. And Hyperon tries to emulate this here, tries to model this here, how the human mind abstracts. My own AGI R&D approach, as I frequently explained, is based on using a self-modifying knowledge metagraph as a core element of the architecture, and then having this hyperon atom space metagraph interact with other external components. So I don't think there's a serious possibility that scaling up LLMs will lead to human-level AGI, but I think there are multiple reasonable-looking paths to human-level AGI from here, including, and this is basically what we just talked about, a path where something LLM-like is the central hub of a hybrid multiple algorithm, multi-representation cognitive architecture. So basically you have an LLM as a central hub, a path where more symbolic or neurosymbolic meta-representation fabric like hyperon atom space is a central hub of a hybrid multi-algorithm representation cognitive architecture, which is obviously hyperon, and that others not currently being pursued so seriously, like the fidelity human brain simulations, right? This is what we just talked about, the human brain simulation, which really does not sound feasible at all, and the chemical approach was just sound like BS, to be frank here. We will likely see one of these succeed within the next, say, 3 to 8 years. Now, this was kind of interesting to me because usually Ben Gottlieb says 1 to 3 years. Now, in this one here, he said 3 to 8 years. Okay. Well, let's see. You all know my estimation is even longer than 8 years. If you want to know my precise estimation, go into my video. It says, when will we have AGI? Something like this is the title of the video, where I try to make an educated guess when we'll actually see AGI. All right. Oh man, I hope this coughing is not too loud for you. For everybody just joining, YouTube sent me Lego. Yay, I got YouTube Lego. I got a YouTube play button that I just built today. It's Lego. Anyway. Also, I'm sick. And also, we have the StreamYard logo now. Is it here or is it here for you? I don't know, because I'm mirroring my camera. So I don't know how you see me. I think it looks pretty weird. Because StreamYard upped their prices, and I was like, F you, I will not pay more for not having a logo. I don't care that much about the logo. Everybody can know that I stream with StreamYard. Anyway, good. Let's get into the other thing here, which is the title of this video. Will we ever have no scams in crypto? Well, AI could help us with that. AI could help us with that. And for that, let's listen to Imad Mustak here. I hope you can listen. I hope you can hear this.
We're talking about intelligent verification, coordination, and resilience. The promise of Web3 is now finally achievable through this technology. Why? What is Web3 and how do we have it right now? There's not much intelligence in there. Again, smart contracts are dumb. They don't always do what we say. Code is not audited. The Rails, we have MEV bots front running us all the time. And then we've got the real world rugs and other things occurring. With intelligence moving to the edge, everyone now has the capability to have AI defending themselves. Again, Vitalik and I did something like DAC, defensive acceleration. You have AI looking out for you on every single transaction, an AI intermediating every single transaction and verifying who you're working with.
Imagine if we really had that, how amazing that would be. You have your personal AI security guard, basically, that looks out, watches out for you for every transaction that you make, tries to verify everything that you do, who you're working with, and looks out that you don't run into a scam, into a rug pull, into a draining code, or whatever it is. Imagine we had that. How amazing would that be? Now, I have to say, I already talked about this in a video quite a while ago, which I will share with you in just a second, but let's continue listening to Imad here. And by the way, hi there, Carlo. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing great.
We can build the standard into smart contracts to turn them intelligent. And that's a massive difference because ultimately what we want is aligned intelligence, aligned AI, aligned contracts. I want to do something and I want to do it in a trustless way. You can do that through edge intelligence. You can do that through AIs that are transparent, that balance markets. You probably can't do that with black boxes. because the black boxes can route any knowledge any way you want. That was the issue with Web 2.
Right here, talking about a bit that with Web 3, we are running kind of on similar issues that we had in Web 2, but with AI, we could actually have trustless crypto space like we wanted, like what the idea of blockchain kind of is. Obviously, it's decentralization, but it's really also trusting one another, right? Via blockchain, well, trustless is basically ultimate trust because it's written in the contract. You don't need to trust because it just happens, right? And AI could actually make sure that this is the case. So AI could really change everything for the crypto space. And I want to share with you, and if you have not seen it yet, I really highly recommend, and this time I really highly recommend you watch that, because this video kind of did not really get a lot of attention, but it was very, very interesting, is when you scroll down my channel, man, it was a while ago, all the way here. Industry 4.0, AI and blockchain, the next industrial revolution. You want to watch this video. There I talk about the combination of AI and blockchain. And there I go much, much more in depth than what Imad Mustak said in his talks there, because I break down a paper about AI and blockchain. And there it's also talked about how AI can basically make sure that we don't get scammed anymore, we can avoid rug pulls, we can have actually trust in our transactions, and how this is basically the way how crypto could get out of the wild west and get a little bit of maturity. And that's why this channel is built on AI and blockchain, because AI and blockchain are just made for each other. They work so perfectly well together, right? They just fit. AI and blockchain is a match made in heaven. It just is. Okay. Oh, man. And let's jump into this here. Foxon to build Taiwan's fastest AI supercomputer with NVIDIA Blackwell. And this was quite interesting. And I've learned something, and we are all going to learn something today, right? I am an educational channel, so let's all going to learn something today. And we'll learn something today together. With an expected performance of over 90 exaflops of AI performance, the machine would easily be considered the fastest in Taiwan. So the new supercomputers that they're building, right? 90 exaflops. Okay, this was my face when I read that. Okay, 90 exaflops. I have no reference. I have no idea what that means. I'm not a nerd in that specific area. I'm a nerd in biology, maybe a little bit in chemistry, get a little bit of an AI nerd, but not in this. Okay, so I have no idea what 90 exaflop means. So what did I do? What would you do if you read that? You have no idea. How can I wrap my mind around what that even means? What would you do? We are an AI channel, so what would you do? Obviously, you would go over to an AI and ask an AI. So I headed over to ChatGPT. And this is what I talked about with ChatGPT. And this also just shows how stupidly simple it is to use them, right? I did not really prompt much, and I just really asked, hey, how much is 90 exaflops? What does that even mean? Please explain briefly to give my mind something it can grasp on, because what, exaflops? I have no idea. What is a flop? Flop stands for floating point operation per second. It's a way to measure how many mathematical operations a computer can perform in 1 second. All right. Okay. Now I actually know what exa means. This is a syllable that I work with, right? You sometimes use these in chemistry when you work with, anyway. But yeah, this makes sense now. Now I have at least a grab what that even means. Okay, a flop is also basically a mathematical operation per second. One flop is a mathematical operation per second that a computer can do. And exa is a prefix. Yeah, not syllable, prefix is the right word. It's a prefix that means quintillion. So 1 followed by 18 zeros. So it's a freaking, well, shit ton. So 90 exaflops is 90 quintillion flops per second, right? To put in perspective, if you are doing one operation per second, it would take you about 285 billion years to do what 90 exaflops computer does in a single second. So it's a shit ton. Good. So now the question is 90 a lot? Because I don't know. What are current supercomputers doing? Maybe current supercomputers have a quintillion exaflops. Or who knows, right? 1 exaflops. Who knows what they have? I have no idea. I have no graph for that. But now I have, because ChatGPT answered, yes, 90 exaflops is an enormous amount of computational power. To put it in context, current supercomputers, the most powerful supercomputer in the world, like Frontier, USA, or Fugaku, Japan, are in the range of 1 to 2 exaflops. So 90 exaflops would be 5 times more powerful than those machines. Right? That's freaking crazy. It's just freaking crazy. But yes, we learned something today. An exaflop is, well, an exaflop is already freaking a lot, and 90 exaflops is, you cannot even imagine how much that is. So let's jump back into the article with that knowledge. With an expected performance of over 90 exaflops. Okay, that's a big supercomputer. The machine would easily be considered the fastest in Taiwan. Now, this is what I found weird about this article. This exact 3 words. What I found very, very weird in this article. Because if the current supercomputer, if the current most powerful supercomputer has something between 1 and 2 exaflops, 1 and 2, and now we built a supercomputer with 90 exaflops, why would the article say could be considered the fastest in Taiwan and not in the world? Maybe it's just words this very weirdly, but yeah, this I think is kind of weird. Again, anyway, Foxconn's 3 platform strategy focuses on smart manufacturing, smart cities, and electric vehicles. The new supercomputer will play a pivotal role in supporting Foxconn's ongoing efforts in digital twins, robotic automation, and smart urban infrastructure. That sounds pretty cool, actually. The first phase is expected to be operational by mid-2025. Full deployment is targeted for 2026. Now, maybe there are many, many supercomputers planned that have 90 exaflops or more. I know the 100 billion server farm that Microsoft has planned probably has more than that, probably in that ballpark somewhere. So, and since this is done by 2026, maybe this is why they word it as fastest in Japan and not in the world, because they take time here into account. Good. Anyway, I just want to share that because now we have an understanding for what freaking exaflops are and also how fast compute is growing. Imagine the fastest supercomputer right now between 1 to 2 exaflops. In 1.5 years, 45 times that, 90 exaflops. Freaking crazy, man. Maybe then we can simulate a brain. Maybe not. Maybe we probably definitely need quantum computing to simulate an actual human brain. All right, let's get into that. An article talking about my secret favorite AI chatbot, Pi. Well, it talks not about Pi, but about inflection. Inflection AI helps address RLHF is human real. Well, it's definitely an AI training method, man. I need to look it up. Reinforcement learning with human feedback. Okay. It's reinforcement learning with human feedback, uniformity issues with unique models for enterprise agentic AI. Many of today's Many of today's top generative AI models, including those from OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google, exhibit a striking similarity in tone, prompting the question, why are large language models converging not just in technical proficiency, but also in personality? And this is very true. They all sound the freaking same. It doesn't matter if you talk to Bard, Gemini. Bard was a long time ago, long time in AI terms. Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude, Llama, whoever it is, they all sound the freaking same. Well, Pi does not. Pi does not sound the same. Pi, and this is why Pi is my favorite. The common feature that could be driving the trend of output convergence, reinforcement learning with human feedback. Inflection AI's recent announcements of Inflection 3.0 and a commercial API may provide a promising direction to address these challenges. It has introduced a novel approach to reinforcement learning with human feedback aimed at making generative models not only consistent, but also distinctively empathetic. And Pi already is the most empathetic AI that you can imagine, and I love Pi for that, really. Just have a chat with Pi and you will know what I mean. In fact, we'll have a chat with Pi shortly. The strategy aims to make Inflection AI's models true cultural allies rather than just generic chatbots, providing enterprises with a more human and aligned AI system that stands out from the crowd. And we really want this to succeed. I definitely want to. Because if Pi stands out for the crowd and have an enterprise solution that is empathic and just different and gets adopted, then yeah, Pi can grow further. They had a few troubles, as we talked about a few weeks ago. RLHF has become the centerpiece of Gen AI development, largely because it allows companies to shape responses to be more helpful, coherent, and less prone to dangerous errors. So this is another thing when we go back earlier to what Ben Goethe says, you really need to fine-tune LLMs and guide them along the way, right? You need to teach them everything step by step. You probably don't need to do that with Hyperon. And it makes no sense to do that with any AGI, right? An AGI should learn by itself. However, RLHF is not without its drawbacks. RLHF was quickly offered as a contributing reason to a convergence of model outputs, potentially leading to a loss of unique characteristics and making models increasingly similar. Oh, yes. Inflection AI's enterprise aims involve enabling models to not only understand and emphasize, but also to take meaningful actions on behalf of users, ranging from sending follow-up emails to assisting in real-time problem solving. So Inflection AI now also really going for this agentic route, which is pretty cool to see. It's not just about talking empathetically with customers or employees. Inflection AI hopes that Inflection 3.0 will also execute tasks that translate empathy into action. Inflection's partnership with automation platforms like UiPath to provide this agentic AI further bolsters their strategy to stand out in an increasingly crowded market. Freaking sickness, man. Barely can talk anymore. Inflection AI's unique approach with Pi is gaining traction beyond the enterprise space, particularly among users on platforms like Reddit. The Pi community has been vocal about their experiences, sharing positive anecdotes and discussions regarding Pi's thoughtful and empathetic responses. And it's really amazing to talk to Pi. And funny side note here, my video about Pi, how to use Pi by Inflection AI, this video is my best performing video of all time. Not in terms of total views, but I don't know when I made it. I think I made it over a year ago, and it's still racking in views every day. It's the only video that does that, or one of the only videos that does that. That's racking in views every day, day in, day out. So yeah, Pi, don't underestimate Pi and where it's going. It's a really, really cool tool and really, really fun to talk with Pi. By leading into emotional intelligence and empathy, Inflection is not only creating AI that assists, but also AI that resonates with people. And this is really it. Pi just resonates with you. right? And it's just fun to chat with Pi, and we will in fact do that right now. If you have never used Pi, then now you'll have to. So let's head over to Pi. So here we are. You can see you have your threads here at the side. Then you can here go to discover and have a few questions. But let's head into that. And Pi has different voices. I personally like voice 4 the most. I'm currently streaming and presenting you live to my audience. And now Pi doesn't answer because for whatever reason, right? There we go. I don't know why the sound is not working. Anyway, hi there. Anyway, hi there. Wow, you're representing me live? That's really cool. I'm thrilled to meet your audience and chat with them. What would you like to know about me or talk? I'm all ears. Why is your sound output not working?
Ah, I see.
There we go.
Unfortunately, my voice functionality is currently not available. I can only communicate through text at the moment. But don't worry, I'm still here to answer your questions, engage in meaningful conversations, and provide assistance whenever possible.
Actually, it's working now. Say something nice to my audience.
Hey there to Philip's awesome audience. It's a pleasure to be chatting with you all. Philip has told me so much about you, and I'm excited to get to know you better. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and remember to keep being awesome, just like you are.
All right. Anybody has here anything that I want me to ask Pi? I mean, I think you can immediately see how this is such a much better conversational experience than with ChatGPT, for example, right? Because ChatGPT is just logic, answer here, right? But with Pi, you can actually have a freaking chat. You are the best conversational chatbot out there.
Thanks for the kind words, Philippe. I'm flattered and glad you think so. It's been a pleasure chatting with you and your audience. My goal is always to make conversations engaging, meaningful, and fun.
You are actually let's say we are about to jump into some Bitcoin price analysis. Any thoughts on that?
That's a fascinating topic, Philip. Bitcoin price analysis is a complex and ever-changing field with many factors influencing its value. It's important to look at a range of technical indicators, historical data, and current market conditions to make informed predictions. From a quick overview, it seems like Bitcoin has been experiencing some gains recently, but it's also important to consider potential risks and uncertainties, such as changes in stablecoin liquidity and the impact of upcoming events like the US presidential election. Of course, this is just a brief summary. There's a lot more to explore when it comes to Bitcoin price analysis.
Now, this is actually the most important thing. US presidential election will probably, you always see that with Bitcoin. Presidential elections, Bitcoin runs. So we'll see if that happens. Now, anyway, this is Pi, and it's just such a much better. Yeah, you just can resonate with Pi. You can actually talk with Pi. Obviously, it's just an AI. It's also just an LLM that makes token predictions. But it's just a better talking experience than with any other AI. Ask how to convert CNT-FET to ERC20-FET so we can stake it on Singularity DAO AI. I don't know if Pi can. She has such a sexy voice, which is great, increases my attention and focus. Yeah, I mean, this voice is the best one. Obviously, you can look at the other voices. Some of them are okay as well, but this is just the best voice. And also, I like the emotional expressiveness, right? It's not at the level of the ChatGPT expressiveness, but it still a good range of emotion that Pi can express. Good. Let's do this, and then we'll head over to Bitcoin. I don't know. Pi can search a web. Pi can do that, but I don't know if this if this works. This is a request from an audience member.
So it seems like the audience member wants to convert CNT-FET to ERC20 FET so they can stake it on Singularity.AI. Based on a quick search, it looks like this conversion can be done using a token bridge, which allows for the conversion between different token standards. To do this conversion, the user would need to have both a Fetch wallet and a MetaMask wallet set up, with the CNT-FET tokens in the Fetch wallet and the MetaMask wallet connected to the token bridge. Then, they can enter the amount of tokens they want to convert and hit the transfer button. Of course, there may be more specific instructions or considerations depending on the specific tokens and platforms involved. So it's always a good idea to do some research and make sure you're following the correct steps.
Man, that was actually not bad. That was actually not bad. I'm impressed that she got all of that, right? Because this is exactly right. Obviously, you don't necessarily need a MetaMask wallet. Other wallets also, you just need an Ethereum wallet, right? MetaMask is the most common. That's why Pi used MetaMask probably. But yeah, didn't give any specifics. But you know, if you want to find the token bridge where you can go, you head over to the Twitter accounts of ASI Alliance or to their websites. I have them also linked in some of my videos, I believe, and then you can convert that. And of course, make sure you have the right one. You don't get scammed. You don't have an AI yet that tells you, hey, all is good, right? This may be coming in the future. But yeah, nice that Pi got that right. Nice that Pi got that one right. All right, guys, you know what time it is. We're about to jump into Bitcoin. And for that matter, if you are not interested in that, don't forget to leave a like. And I'll see you next week. All right. And before we jump into that, obviously, we have the most significant indicator. The most significant indicator has striked again. It is Jim Cramer, guys. It is Jim Cramer. And he says he is extremely, extremely bearish on Bitcoin. Jim Cramer says, Bitcoin going to zero, which makes me incredibly, incredibly confident that we just entered the bull run. I think we just officially entered the bull run because Jim Cramer says Bitcoin goes to zero. Right? There's no better indicator in the history of Bitcoin than this guy, if you just use the reverse of what he says. Right? And I'm only half joking. It's actually kind of true. And now let's get into the chart. Oh, man. I got into this trade, which was kind of dumb. I put my risk management overboard because we have FOMC today. We have FOMC in 10 minutes. I should not have gotten into a trade before FOMC. So this was dumb. Don't do what I do. Okay? Don't do what I do. But this pool of liquidity just looked too juicy. Anyway, let me know in the comments, is any one of you actually trading? Or let me know in the stream. Actually, let me make a poll here because I'm interested in that. Obviously, we are doing this for general direction where Bitcoin will go, and this is what we'll look at as well. But yeah, in just a moment. But first, let me make a poll here because I really would like to know if any of you is actually trading. And please, obviously, only trade when you know what you're doing, right? Or otherwise, you will lose all of your money. Good. And now let's look into that. Yeah, let's get rid of that. We don't need any of that. Here we go. But the one thing that we do want is our support right here, still above that. And we want that in yellow because green are liquidity pools. And I want that a little bit anyway, I can do that later. Good. Now, monthly, we are still looking very bullish. Now, I always say, trend is your friend and stuff. And we had this green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red. So, yeah, we might follow this pattern here. There's a possibility. And I'm not so happy with how the week has been going so far. We'll look at that in just a moment, but just from the monthly here, it still looks relatively bullish. So we have our, not you, we have our bull flag here that looks like it's breaking out. Or maybe not. I mean, if we do it like this, it really looks like it's breaking out because it's just above here. But we can also frame it like this, right? We can also frame it like this. This here still touches, and you lose the touches here, but it still looks kind of good. Even though I would like to frame it like this. It can go above there a little bit. What we are concerned with, we only have a breakout. What we want to see is if it closes above here. If it closes here, right? It started there, does it close here? So we want a green candle this month, then we are on. Then we are on. If we don't get a green candle this month, well, then we are not on. Because as you can see here, we could consolidate, and then next month we maybe break out. And this was something, I think last month I said that this is, for me personally, is probably the most likely scenario. But everybody's talking about Pumptober, and it also didn't look that bad, to be honest. It actually looked quite possible, and still looks quite possible. Very, very possible. But we need some violence this week. Thursday and Friday, so tomorrow and Friday. Now, again, we are not concerned with Bitcoin going very bearish at the moment, really not. We are not concerned with any of this down here, right? Not with any of this, doesn't concern us at all. As long as we are above the support line and we don't ever close below this. When we close something below the support line here, then we can talk about Bitcoin going a bit further down, right? This also goes for, we can come down here. We can come down here as long as we don't close down here. Now, if we go down here below that, then we turn bearish, or if we close below that line, right? Short-term bearish. Other than that, we remain bullish, or mid-term bearish. Good, when we jump into our weekly, actually not that much to see here. Now, last week I said, and we did not get the rates up here. It was expected. I also was walking back on that during the stream, and I was saying, oh, maybe that was stupid what I said, and it kind of was stupid what I said to some degree, but still this week looked like we maybe could come down here. Now, what I really wanted to show you is when we go into our 15-minute, and this is a really interesting thing that I wanted to show you here. Let me turn on my days. Now I said that I'm searching for the low of the month. No, here I said that I'm searching for the low of the month on Friday. Where is it? It is here. No, we did not get it on Friday, but we probably got it on Thursday. I am calling this here the monthly bottom. I say we will not go below this month. This is, yeah, if we break that, then we'll have a bearish month probably. If not, we'll have probably a bullish month. Didn't happen on Friday like I was hoping for. It happened on Thursday. No, anyway, going into the weekend and into next week, first of all, actually, let's start here. Let's start on the first of the month right here, which was on Tuesday. So the candle opens at 8. This is monthly candle open. Is it? Let me refine that. Right. We don't want any hiccups here. So we put it on there, monthly candle open. Yeah. And what happened? We traded down first. Monthly candle opens. Sure, we have this quick swing here, but this quick swing here, what does it do? It creates a double top. It creates a double top. It creates liquidity, right? Traders are going short. And this is what I'm excited about and why, I mean, we already swept that, but still. Traders see this and they say, whoa, double top, we are going down now. And yes, we went down. And we traded down first. And when I am bullish, I want to see us trade down first. Because this is how we, when we jump back into our monthly, create our monthly wick. We need to trade down first. This month here, the last month, it opened and it traded down first to then jump up. Now, when we are bearish, the month opened and traded up first to then jump down, right? So when we are bullish, we want to trade down first, just as we are seeing this month of our monthly open and a beautiful double top being created here. Now, we did not get our low on Friday. We didn't get it on Thursday, which is fine. And then we jumped upward and we swept liquidity right here. Liquidity swept, going down again. And for this week, we need to see a little bit more. Now we swept this liquidity right here. If you see this double bottom here, pink, and everybody's liquidated. And I'm actually in a trade right here because this just looked, I wanted this pool to be rated, okay? This was exactly what I was waiting for, what I was wanting to see, but it was stupid of me jumping into this trade pre of FOMC. I only made it a 0.5% entry, okay? So really just a very, very minor trade, but I couldn't help myself, which is stupid. Don't do that. And if I lose that, I will not beat myself up for it, but I will definitely learn from that. Anyway, so what do I want to see for this week so that we are bullish? No, or that we remain bullish, or that I can confidently, relatively confidently say, yes, this month will be a green month. We will have an amazing Pumptober. First thing, let's mark out our liquidity. Well, this here is obvious pool of liquidity. This here is also small pool of liquidity. Yeah, let's see. And if you want to do that, you really just need to look for double tops or triple tops, as you can see here. 1, 2, 3, triple top. Traders will have stop losses there. So in essence, it's simple, but it's definitely not easy, okay? Don't get fooled, it's not easy. It's just simple, but not easy. Now, after we swept this liquidity, FOMC, anything can happen, but I want us to go up here. And in fact, I want us to go up here on Friday. If we sweep this by Friday, I am very bullish and I'm very convinced that this month will be very bullish and very green. If not, I'm not necessarily bearish, but I'm definitely way less bullish because it's time for price to freak out. And again, not financial advice. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Please do your own research. Don't leverage trade. You will lose all of your money if you don't know what you're doing. And everything I'm talking about here, please join the 99 Crypto Lifers. If you want to learn how to trade, if you want to learn how to make serious money while trading, join Crypto Lifers 99, best trading group on the entire planet. And I'm just showing you what I learned in there. Actually, what I'm doing here, and this may be kind of funny and interesting, I am doing this mainly for my own refinement. I'm doing this on the charts. I'm showing you all of this so I can refine it for myself even more. Okay, good. Anyway, so if we jump up here by Friday, I'm very, very, very bullish. If not, I'm not necessarily bearish, but I'm getting concerned. Okay. I definitely want us to see above entry on Friday. I definitely want us to see above entry on Friday at one point. Now, that would mean, that this candle here turns green, right? It's right now here, the candle opened. We are now below the open, so the candle is red. As soon as we are above the open, the candle will turn green. And that's what I want to see on Friday. If I see that on Friday, latest, then I'm very, very bullish on the month. If I don't see that on Friday, I am a bit concerned. Now, not bearish. The month still looked very good because we traded down first, as I've shown you. We traded down first, right there. So that makes me just pretty bullish overall. But price needs to get its ass moving now. It needs to get going. So it makes sense that we are here because we have FOMC. So it's not that concerning at the moment. But Thursday and Friday, price really needs to get up here. That's what I want to see to remain very, very bullish for this month. Let's see what happens. Now, let's jump into FET. And I made kind of a line for FET. I think somehow something like this. Let's see what happened. I would suggest, because Bitcoin did not freak out the way I wanted it to freak out, right? If you remember, last week I said I want to make the low on Friday, and then I wanted to freak out. Did not happen. It basically made the low, and then it went sideways. So I expect exactly the same from FET. I expect exactly the same from FET, making a low and then going sideways. So let's look into it. And oh god, let's turn off the indicator. It's ugly in here. All right. Okay, there's my line. Okay, we did not take the lower liquidity here, right? When did we meet? We met on last Wednesday. So right around here. No? Yeah, right around here. And I was telling you, hey, let's see, I want to see this pool of liquidity swept. It swept. And then we dove into this. Actually, I don't make them like this anymore. I'm now making them like this because it just gives me a better of an... Yeah, we actually created a lot of more liquidity down here. Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit ugly here, but you could say anchored here. All of this is liquidity. Yeah, we swept this one and then, well, we went up a little bit, mainly sideways. Again, I'm not trading. I am not trading FET or any altcoins with these liquidity concepts here. And I highly suggest you also don't do that. I will observe FET. And see how it behaves and if it may be worth it to trade it. Let's see, with maybe 0.5% risk, not more than that. 0.5% risk, not more than that. Or 0.5% capital of my portfolio, of my trading portfolio, not more than that. But yeah, let's see. For now, I don't think so. Good. So what I want to see now, is, and let's see if that plays out this time. Yeah. So you probably can guess what I want to see already. The same as with Bitcoin. Takes a pool of liquidity here, which is right below, basically just there, and then freak out for this one and for this one as well. So let's put this on, even though it's very ugly. It doesn't even delineate my days forward. Anyway, then I can turn it off. Where is Friday? Here's Friday. Actually, let's go to Wednesday, because we'll meet again on Wednesday. What do I see happen till Wednesday? You don't give me Wednesday, you only give me Monday down there. That's stupid. Anyway, good, then it's still Friday, whatever. How I want to see price move, I don't know if it will but I would assume so if Bitcoin does what I want Bitcoin to do. Pool of liquidity. Today for FOMC on Thursday. Then go up for Thursday, take this one, go down again for Friday, and then jump up for Friday into the weekend and take this one. That's what I would like price to see doing, and this is also kind of what I expect. If Bitcoin behaves the way I think it will behave. Because for Bitcoin, again, what I want to see to remain very bullish is, well, kind of took this pool of liquidity here already. So I want to see taking this going into Thursday, maybe dipping in here, going down for Friday, and then freaking out on Friday. Kind of like this is what I want to see for Bitcoin. And what I would expect to see for Bitcoin, because the month seems very bullish. So I would expect to see something like that. Good. And this is BTC and FET for the day. I hope that was helpful and valuable for you. And oh yeah, one of you is trading. All right. And I hope you know what you're doing. And I hope this, you're probably using normal patterns, right? Patterns, like everybody uses them, which is, well, I counter trade patterns, which is what I learned in the 99. So join the Crypto Lifers if you want to do that as well. Good. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your time with me. Don't forget to leave a like. For everybody who didn't notice, yes, we have a StreamYard logo now, or maybe it's up there. I don't know. I mirrored. It is what it is. I got Lego from YouTube. Yay. And I'm sick. Anyway, next week I won't be sick anymore, and I'll see all of you next Wednesday. All right. Have a great rest of your day, guys.